Cause you say I'm just a liar. Cause you know can make a fire. Either make it on the ground, either set it on the ground. You could make it on the fire. In my head. You gotta be my friend, God, let's go. Uh-huh. Cause I know, cause we know, cause you say I'm such a liar. Cause you put it on the ground, say that's it, fire. Oh, said I said in my head, in my head. You know we be my friend. Cause I know, cause we know, cause you say I'm just a liar. Baby, you're a good fire. Oh, cause you say I'm just a liar. Baby, yeah, I'm a fire. Yeah, it. It's still raining, you hear that? Or the first. How you doing, everyone? Let me see what's this. Yo, what the fuck? I'm pressing the right button. I hate when that's
Kevin Owens just revealed a lot of interesting pointers, so we'll see what he had to say.
and why.
We'll also check out what's going on with CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and more. Starting things off with this interesting story coming from Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens opened up about something major, some major changes he notices in WWE. Kevin, of course, was present backstage for the Vince McMahon regime, and now for the Triple H regime. And one of the biggest changes Kevin Owens mentioned was the improvement on respecting the audience's intelligence. Kevin Owens revealed that he would often get into arguments with key members of the old regime because those in control back then assumed that the fans just instantly forget about everything that happens on WWE television.
I'm watching about WWE.
In this specific example, Kevin said he wanted to bring something up in a storyline that happened 3 weeks prior, and the old regime turned down Kevin's idea because they said that there was no chance that the fans remembered anything that happened 3 weeks ago. And Kevin said that's when he tried telling them that the fans are smarter than they're giving them credit for, and that they actually do remember things, but that the old regime wasn't hearing it. They were sticking with their idea that the fans don't remember anything. Kevin did not touch on this other story in this interview, but there were similar situations that happened in the ring several years ago that's in regards to the same exact topic. There was a viral clip of Kevin Owens being really upset looking at the Titantron that was displaying a replay of something that had literally just happened before the commercial break. Kevin was heard yelling and questioning why the replay was being shown when it literally just took place. That was the old regime in full function right there. They used to show replays of what happened earlier in the same night a dozen times, because they were under the impression fans wouldn't remember what literally happened at the start of the night. So that angered Kevin Owens, and it did anger fans too. There was definitely a lot of fans at the time questioning why we were seeing 4 replays of something that happened right before the commercial break. And the answer is because the Vince McMahon regime thought you forgot everything that happened during the commercial breaks. Kevin Owens said that this is no longer the case and that Triple H definitely treats the audience's intelligence much better than previous regimes. Kevin says Triple H knows fans are going to remember lots of things and little details, and how he builds his storylines specifically respecting the audience's intelligence and memory. So that definitely is a nice little detail to hear, especially for fans that appreciate the deep level of long-term storytelling. You got to see every second of the show and remember everything, because you never know when something's going to pop up again in the future and play a big role in the storyline. Under the previous regime, once something finished being aired, they forgot about it and assumed you forgot about it too. So they definitely created a little bit of frustration viewing experience. But things are looking extremely well right now. Events that happened years ago are being brought up in current day storylines, and it keeps things really deep. So hopefully that trend continues for the storylines. Now let's get into some major news for the men's triple threat match at WrestleMania 41. Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins had a huge contract signing this week on SmackDown that featured a big reveal and another twist. Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins went over some of their history together in the building as the Shield. Seth continued to talk about all these Shield moments, but Roman tells them that that was all over a long time ago, and how it was Roman by himself who turned the company around and took things to new heights. CM Punk comes out and carefully checks every single page of the contract, looking for every specific thing. Roman already knew what Punk was looking for and had Paul Heyman break the news to him. Heyman revealed that the triple threat match was officially confirmed to be the Night 1 WrestleMania 41 main event. Heyman congratulated Punk on achieving his lifelong dream of becoming a WrestleMania main eventer. It was a real emotional moment for Punk because it was his life's work finally paying off. Punk never main evented WrestleMania, and you could say he pretty much had 2 WrestleMania main events stolen from him back during the days of John Cena and The Rock's feud. So finally, Punk gets his main event spot. And you can definitely see the 3 extremely different reactions amongst the 3 men. Punk is emotional since it's a big deal to him. Roman is laughing it off and doesn't really care because WrestleMania main events are not special to him anymore since this is his 5th straight and 10th overall. So to Roman at this point, the WrestleMania main event is expected, so he doesn't view it as being special anymore. And for Seth Rollins, he's filled with rage because he failed at his goal of keeping Punk out of the main event spot. So 3 completely different reactions to main event news. And for several weeks now, one of the biggest fan theories for Punk's favor was that he would ask for the triple threat to be put in the main event spot of Night 1. So that's what we see happen here. We see Roman Reigns basically ask for Punk's appreciation for making this happen. Punk doesn't thank Roman for the main event, but makes it clear that this is not the favor he had in mind. It's a cliffhanger, and the screen cuts to black. So the segment ends in a great way that basically sends fans right back to the drawing board for trying to figure out what this favor is. Everyone thought it would be the Night 1 main event, but Punk made it clear that he's thankful for that, but it's not his special favor at all. There's a lot of crazy fan theories out there for Punk's favor. One of the most popular theories is that Punk will request for Heyman to pull some sort of strings to get him a world title match of some sorts. A lot of fans have some issues with this logic and theory because they question how Heyman has any authority to create title matches. But maybe Heyman does create the title match himself, but Heyman is a good negotiator and speaker. So maybe speaking to the general managers and the higher-ups is how Heyman could realistically get it done within the storyline. Another interesting fan theory that's floating around out there is that Punk's favor would be an extra stipulation being added to the WrestleMania triple threat match. And that stipulation would be that the winner of the Night 1 triple threat match advances to Night 2 main event to join Cody Rhodes versus John Cena for the WWE title. And this idea has fans absolutely split. Some fans think that Cody versus Cena should stay as a singles match, while other fans think that Cena would benefit from having someone else in the match to help carry the load a bit. If WWE does go down the route like that, it would be very similar to last year's WrestleMania, where the Night 1 main event outcome had a direct impact on the Night 2 main event. Roman and Rock won the tag team match, granting Bloodline rules for the following night. So a similar idea here, a Night 1 main event that completely directly impacts what's happening the following night. Punk gets the victory in the triple threat match and advances to joining Cody Rhodes and John Cena just 24 hours later. CM Punk gets 2 WrestleMania main events and a WWE title opportunity, which is something he has not gotten at all since he returned. A lot of fans seem to be in agreement that Punk's favor has to continue to create tension between Roman and Heyman, and if Punk gets a title match before Roman, that would create some tension there. His favor just couldn't be having a triple threat in Night 1 main event spot. It has to be something more. So lots of theories for what this favor could be, but it has to be something major since it literally has been teased since back in November. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.
I need more people to join me. It sucks. Baby, you're a liar. Hi, Sean B. Let me see. Let me listen to this.
10 wrestlers WWE instantly regretted firing. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Number 10, Daniel Bryan. The debut of the Nexus faction on WWE television was impactful, memorable, and borderline legendary. It was a TV-14 angle delivered in the world of PG, and unfortunately, this is where the problems began. Due to Daniel Bryan choking out Justin Roberts with his own tie, this wasn't seen in line with WWE's established PG guidelines, and it was reported that numerous political players and sponsors complained directly to WWE. WWE would reluctantly let Bryan go from his contract, and it was widely reported that this was something that they simply just didn't want to do. It was only fitting that when the backlash died down, WWE would bring Bryan back into the mix, and they didn't hesitate to do this within a few short months. Bryan would make his return at the 2010 SummerSlam pay-per-view in the main event of the show, and Bryan would go on to become one of the top names in the company, winning the world title on numerous occasions. Number 9, Finlay. Now, it could often be the case that WWE rushes into firing a talent or a producer, and this was a case with Finlay. Finlay was the producer for a live event on the road to WrestleMania 27, and Finlay would order The Miz to interrupt the national anthem. Unfortunately for WWE and Finlay, members of the National Guard were in attendance, and they were extremely offended. The blame fell on Finlay, who was punished in the most severe way possible as he was released from his WWE contract. The backlash to this internally in WWE was one of uproar, as Finlay was beloved within the locker room, and even names such as Jim Ross would criticize the move publicly. It was almost instantaneously that WWE realized that they got it completely wrong, and that Finlay shouldn't have been fired. Finlay would be brought back into the company the following year with open arms, and thankfully there was no bad blood on either side. Number 8, Bronson Reed. One of Triple H's pet projects when he was running NXT was Bronson Reed. Reed would become NXT North American champion, and on paper, he had every tool it took to be a major player on the roster. Sadly, when Reed had his official main roster tryout, Vince McMahon hated his work. McMahon hated his work so much that Reed would be fired from the company. This must have enraged Triple H, as he had put so much effort into getting Reed over, and now it was all ruined. When Triple H received creative power on the main roster, one of his first official acts was to bring Reed back. Reed has been outstanding since his return, and he has truly stepped up and delivered at the level that Triple H believed he could all those years ago. Number 7, Toni Storm. Toni Storm has emerged as one of the top stars in AEW, and her character work received critical acclaim and appreciation, even from AEW's biggest haters. Storm was under a WWE contract for several years, yet all WWE did with her on the main roster was book her in horrendously delivered comedic segments, which in turn made her look like an utter fool. When Storm asked for her release, it was immediately granted by WWE. This was a case of WWE not knowing what they had until it was gone. Storm would reflect on why she exited the company during an appearance on Oral Sessions, and Storm didn't exactly hold back. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be. A lot of people don't enjoy it at all. For some people, it just works out, and for others, it just makes them miserable. And I guess I just fell into that category. I guess it just wasn't for me at that point. Let's face it, they just fire people left, right, and center out of the blue. I could be fired next week, and then it's like, what's the point? It just got very pointless, to be honest. It's been hard to convey that, especially to fans, especially to the people that just aren't in the business, and they'll never understand. I must sound ridiculous to those people, but it's the reality of what it's actually like. WWE, without a doubt, would re-sign Storm within seconds if she decided to leave AEW, and Storm is a great example of why sometimes it's always a good idea to bet on yourself. Number 6, Mickie James. WWE may not have outright rejected firing Mickie James in 2021, but the way they handled her release would have certainly led to a lot of regret and anger within the company. James was released from WWE due to budget cuts relating to the COVID-19 pandemic, and James took to social media to share that WWE had sent her belongings back to her in a trash bag. Yeah, that's right, a trash bag. It showed the world that WWE really didn't care about their talent, and the incident received mainstream news coverage. It was a truly horrendous look for WWE, and they knew they'd just made a huge mistake. But WWE did take immediate action, and this is what James had to say during an interview with Ariel Helwani. Personally, I wasn't as offended as the rest of the world was offended, just because I feel like it does suck and it's very, the symbology of it all. You know, even when you think about it professionally or however you feel personally, how you've been professionally booked or any of those things, all of those things aside, like that bit alone is kind of like already on a low. James will go on to state that she received calls from Stephanie McMahon, Triple H, and Vince McMahon, and the WWE were quick to confirm that the name responsible, reportedly being Mark Carrano, was no longer employed with the company. Number 5, Aleister Black. A former NXT champion, Aleister Black, was yet another name released from WWE due to the COVID-19 budget cuts. This release was baffling, as Black had just returned to WWE programming with a new character, and they were already giving up on him. A matter of hours after Black's release was made official, it was reported that numerous companies, including AEW, wanted to sign him up, and overnight, Black became the biggest free agent in all of wrestling. Triple H must have been devastated, as Black was one of his top stars in NXT, and now Vince McMahon was releasing him without a care in the world. It was reported for years after the initial release that WWE would want Black back if he ever left AEW, and fast forward to 2025, this is now on the horizon as Black is set to make his grand return to WWE programming. Number 4, AJ Styles. AJ Styles was working in the final years at WCW without an official contract, and when WWE came calling, they knew AJ was immensely talented, but all they offered him was a developmental deal with OVW. WWE had the chance to sign one of the biggest names of the 21st century to the main roster, yet they cut ties with him completely. AJ would eventually sign for TNA, where he would become their poster boy for the next decade, and AJ would cement himself as one of the biggest names in the world that wasn't signed to WWE. When he would finally put pen to paper for WWE at long last in 2016, the buzz was palpable. Now, there was initial concern at first that they wouldn't know how to use AJ. And whilst it was a rocky road at first, AJ has had a Hall of Fame career in WWE alone. Number 3, Bray Wyatt. One of the COVID-19 related releases that received significant criticism from fans was that of Bray Wyatt. Wyatt was reportedly let go due to his high salary, as well as WWE being in a creative rut with him. It was said that Vince McMahon often had issues with the former WWE champion, so it ultimately was a no-brainer for WWE to let him go. But Wyatt was one of the most creative minds WWE had ever had under contract, and it was backwards at how they were just willing to let him go without a second thought. The fan backlash was rampant and fans were actively campaigning for WWE to bring him back. And this must have been the exact moment when WWE had just realized how popular Wyatt was with the audience. McMahon, to the surprise of many, wouldn't opt to bring Wyatt back. Instead, it was Triple H, who was a long-term supporter of Wyatt, and he insisted that Wyatt return to the company in 2022. Number 2, Matt Hardy. In 2005, Matt Hardy's world would be shattered when he found out that Alita was having a real-life affair with fellow colleague Edge. Hardy, upon finding out this information, would take to the internet to share his side of the story, and in typical WWE fashion, they found this to be unprofessional, and they released him from his WWE contract. To say this angered WWE fans would be an understatement, especially because Alita and Edge were receiving pushes on TV, yet the man that was wronged was now unemployed. Firing Hardy instead of offering him support was a terrible PR move for WWE, and media outlets across the world would pick up the story. Hardy was supported both online as well as at live shows, as chants in support of him were delivered on Raw, SmackDown, and live events. The reaction was so severe that WWE were forced to bring him back, and this rehiring should have come with a formal apology and an acknowledgement of WWE's mistake. And number 1, CM Punk. There was a ton of discourse in late 2014 whether WWE would sink as low to fire a man on his wedding day, and the majority of fans were under the impression that WWE without a doubt acted with malice when it came to the firing of CM Punk. Punk walked out of WWE following the 2014 Royal Rumble, but he wasn't released from his contract until the end of the calendar year. WWE, for whatever reason, waited to fire him on his actual wedding day, and with Punk still having friends in WWE and his wedding date being common knowledge, all the signs pointed to this being deliberate. What WWE wouldn't have expected was for Punk to tell the world what they had done, and this would have been a moment that WWE knew they had messed up on. Their story was so newsworthy at the time that McMahon directly addressed it on a live podcast, and McMahon would apologize to Punk and claim that this was not deliberate, which fans had a tough time in believing. But there you have it, folks. 10 rest.
I'm about to start a new stream because
What is going on, guys? It is WrestleMania here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including WWE is not changing course with Jey Uso, the reason behind the new WWE Hall of Fame change, Aleister Black's WWE return date revealed, Paige talks about a WWE return, is Eva Marie returning again to WWE ending a 6-year WrestleMania tradition, the bloodline just got bigger, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new videos on WrestleMania XL.
thank you that one person that's always here.
Our first story looks at WWE not changing its big mistake with Jey Uso. Or is WWE planning to change its direction for Jey Uso following what some fans believe is backlash against his push an upcoming world title match against Gunther at WrestleMania 41? Well, not so, as according to Chris Featherstone, who tweeted, sources from within WWE have confirmed that Jey Uso will continue to be pushed as a babyface for the foreseeable future, despite recent online backlash. He was second in merchandise in recent sold-out live events that he wasn't even advertised to be on, which WWE is very satisfied with. I was informed that there has also been an increase in new and lapsed fans coming about due to Netflix and other global brand-broadening ventures in which Jey Uso's merchandise has brought in even more revenue. And while some fans have criticized main event Jey's push, it's hard to deny the wild reaction he's been receiving at live events. Now, obviously, if WWE sees signs of Jey's popularity decreasing, such as a drop in ratings during his segments and merch sales sagging, they then may decide to change things up. Next up, are we seeing the return of Eva Marie again? Now, the controversial star Eva Marie has had 2 very awful stints in WWE, but it's possible that she could be back for another run in WWE, as during a recent interview with Ring the Bella, she fueled speculation on a return to the promotion. So because words mean a lot, I feel like you can speak whatever you want to in existence, and I love WWE. I'm very grateful to WWE. I love the WWE universe. I mean, you could never get enough of the evolution. Never. You know what I'm saying? And I would love to come back and stir things up. There's nothing better than going out there and ruffling some feathers, so yeah, the possibility is always there. In 2023, she revealed that she was in talks with WWE, but nothing came of it. Would you guys like to see her back in WWE? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, WWE bringing a big event to India. Now, there's some recent comments from WWE President Nick Khan that suggest WWE is considering holding one of its PLEs in India. Khan recently chatted with the Hindustan Times, discussing WWE's move to Netflix, this year's WrestleMania, and whether the WWE is looking to India as a future venue for one of its PLEs. That's the goal, and we're penciling out 2026 and 2027 now. In one of our first meetings with Netflix after the deal was signed, without asking, Netflix handed us a list of their priority countries. At the top of that list was India, and knowing that the race would come into play on April 1st in India, if it's important to Netflix, assume it's important to us. India has always been important to us, so we're penciling it out now, and let's wait and see. Now we discussed how WWE is the second most popular sport in India as cricket is number one. India is a huge market, and given WWE's success in hosting PLEs in international markets, it seems inevitable. But just what PLE might get the nod and when it will happen remains to be seen, but it's sure to up the bidding process for WWE shows down the road. Next up, Drew McIntyre injured on SmackDown. Now, in an update, it's actually been reported that this wasn't a tongue-in-cheek jab at AEW or Jack Perry, and that Drew McIntyre really did get glass in his eye. This is according to PW Insider Elite, which referenced the tweet, and in asking around, we're told that the glass in his eye part of the tweet did happen. Our best wishes to McIntyre. Next up, McIntyre responds to a young fan who flipped him off. McIntyre recently responded to a young fan who flipped him off during Drew's segment on SmackDown, where he talked trash to Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. The former three-time world champion commented about the young fan, apparently giving him his props. Fair play. This little twat had absolutely mugged me off. Hate recognizes hate. Next up, the real reason behind the new Hall of Fame category. Are you curious why WWE's added a new category to its Hall of Fame? Well, WWE recently announced during last night's SmackDown that WrestleMania 13's Bret Hart vs. Stone Cold Steve Austin I Quit match will be inducted into its new Immortal Moment category. Well, in the Observer's Daily Update, it was reported credit this one to Ant Evans at UFC. When Evans took over the UFC Hall of Fame years ago in an attempt to make it credible after Stefan Bonner, he came up with the idea to induct legendary matches. And given the Hall of Fame status as a public relations and marketing tool, it makes sense to add this match as it gives fans another way to see legendary superstars who have been already inducted on their own in tag teams and or in factions. What do you think of this new category, and did WWE make the right call with this choice? And which other matches do you think should be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame?
None.
Next up, Paige talks plans of a WWE return. How is Paige, aka former AEW Women's Champion Soraya, returning to WWE following a recent announcement that she's leaving AEW? Well, Paige recently hinted at forming a dream team with the WWE megastar. As Paige recently chatted with Before the Bell, I feel like me and Rhea Ripley would make a really good tag team. I've said that. I would love to wrestle her too. I'd love to. There's so many women that I'd want to wrestle. I do one day, not anytime soon obviously. There's no room for me, but I would love to face Rhea. Paige praised the work of other female superstars, including Liv Morgan and Charlotte Flair. She also mentioned that if she ever did return to WWE, that she would keep the name Paige and her old theme song. Would you guys want to see Paige return to WWE? Next up, Aleister Black WWE return date revealed. Or is Aleister Black returning to WWE after WrestleMania 41? If you've been paying close attention to SmackDown, you've probably noticed some creepy vignettes that feature smoke, shadows, and much more. While it's possible they're related to the White Six, some fans believe they point to Aleister Black. Ringside News noted some particular clues in the videos that suggest a return date for Aleister Black. Each vignette has featured the number 4 in some way, but this week's installment showed something new, a flash of the Roman numerals XXV. Put that together, 4 and 25, and fans are convinced it's pointing directly to April 25th. April 25th is a SmackDown after WrestleMania 41, and it could be very possible as WWE loves to have debuts and returns on the shows after WrestleMania. Next up, WWE ending a 6-year WrestleMania tradition. Now, it may be the end of an era, as a new report from WrestleTalk notes that the triple threat involving CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns could end a 6-year tradition at WrestleMania. The report notes it believes Cody Rhodes versus John Cena will headline Night 2 of WrestleMania, and if this WWE Championship match does headline the other night of WrestleMania 41, as many are expecting it to, this year will be the first since 2018, where a Royal Rumble winner hasn't headlined WrestleMania. As some WWE fans were hoping that a women's match would main event one of the 2 nights, but it looks like WWE wants to give CM Punk the WrestleMania main event that eluded him for his career. Now, with WWE reportedly reviving its all-female PLE Evolution, the promotion may not feel the need to feature a women's main event. But you guys agree with this decision? Next up, a former ECW star defends himself against serious allegations. Did former ECW and WWE superstar Justin Credible scam his fans? Well, he recently sat down with former WWE superstar Maven to discuss the accusations and share his side of the story. The two sat down and Credible addressed claims of accepting money for merchandise but never shipped out the items. I don't have cash right now to do it, but we'll work something out. If you want it, you deserve it, you paid for it. I'm embarrassed, but there's nothing else I can do. Again, I'm not trying to run scams. Even that word hurts my feelings because there was never any intention of a scam. It's not like an operation. I'm trying to just feed my wife. Do you think the first thing I'm going to worry about is that I didn't get my shipment out Friday? Well, Pro Wrestling Tees also doesn't send your ship in 2 or 3 weeks. Believe me, I'm just saying that. A lot of it could have been done differently. If you meet me in an arena or anywhere in life, you could ask anybody in this building, anywhere. I'm a good man. I'm an honest guy. I have flaws, but everybody still loves me in the business. I'm not a bad person. I've done some things that I'm not proud of. That was also addressed in the video of claims of Justin no-showing wrestling shows and podcasts. And finally, the bloodline just got bigger. Last but not least, congratulations to Zilla Fatu on the birth of his first son. Zilla took to Instagram posting a picture of himself and his son along with this note. Ekilio Fatu, my first son named after my dad today is our day. Today we celebrate both you and dad and your grandson. Zilla's dad Umaga passed away in 2009, but his legacy lives on thanks to the fans' memories and Umaga's family members paying homage to him in the ring. Do you think Zilla's son could follow in his grandfather's footsteps? Let us know in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some...
But some people don't always want to wrestle. Baby, I'll get it on the ground. Yeah, they get it in my head, in my head, in my head. You gotta be.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Cause you say I'm just a liar. Cause I say you're such a liar. Feel like good. You're like a fool. I'm a fool. Yeah, I'm gonna come back, guys, in a few minutes. I'll be back. I'll be back after midnight. Bye, guys. Or maybe before that. Who knows?